There's no question that we've got to critically re-examine ICE and its role and the way that it is being administered.
I am offering a Green New Deal that has been described as one of the most aggressive and progressive.
There's no question I'm in favor of banning fracking.
Would you ban offshore drilling?
Yes.
You support the Medicare for All bill, I think initially co-sponsored by Senator Bernie Sanders. You're also a co-sponsor on it. I believe it will totally eliminate private insurance. So for people out there who like their insurance, they don't get to keep it?
Let's eliminate all of that. Let's move on.
Kamala Harris wants your vote, but what exactly would you be voting for? Because apparently she doesn't stand by anything you just heard her say.
In his latest piece, Victor Davis Hanson lays out Harris's new act as a flip-flopper in chief, saying there was never any such thing as good old moderate Kamala from Berkeley.
So does that mean her VP will be a good old moderate? We'll know next week who she's running with as they hit the campaign trail together.
Meanwhile, Philadelphia's mayor is adding to the speculation. Her campaign social media accounts posted a video indicating Governor Josh Shapiro will be Harris's pick, though it's unclear why that video was posted since no announcement has been made from the Harris campaign.
Maybe a trial balloon. For more on Harris's far-left record, let's bring in Hoover Institution senior fellow, our favorite, Victor Davis Hanson. Victor, great to see you. Do you think, and I read your piece, and laying it out, she is frightening in terms of what she believes. Will Trump and Vance be able to Mike Dukakis her?
That's going to be the central issue of the campaign, because on the one hand, they don't have 1 or 2 years. They only have 90 days. And she's not going to be allowed, as was Biden not allowed in 2020, to do anything other than teleprompted set speeches in front of receptive audiences. So they have and they don't have time to go down all of these cul-de-sacs about, ethnic background or cackling and all that. They got to get right to the point, and that is draw her out on all these things they said. The good news is she's never in her life, Gagan, spoke to an oppositional audience. She ran for state office in California. She ran for office in the Bay Area. She had a aborted brief primary candidacy in front of left-wing audiences. In all of those cases, her aim was to be the furthest left on the stage in a left-wing environment. So it's not that she said all these things. She emphatically said them. She doubled down on them. She stressed that she was a radical. And they're all over the last 20 years in the record, and it's going to be incumbent upon the Trump campaign to find them all, to document them, to air them, and to force the journalists to ask her about them. And the one time that she has had one unscripted moment, and that was just on the tarmac with Biden the other night. And in 60 seconds, she did exactly what her handlers are afraid of. She just melted down in that word salad and wash, rinse, spin. And so that's what Trump needs to do. And anything he can do that and he will be conducive. He needs to look at the 1988 campaign when Dukakis was 17 points ahead on August 1st. And, of course, they had somebody named Lee Outwater who demonstrated how to do it. And he destroyed the image or the mystique or I guess you would call it the fantasy that Mike Dukakis was just about competence and a technocrat, and he redefined him as a hardcore Massachusetts liberal. And he was a much more effective executive or politician than was Kamala Harris. So they can do it, but they don't have a lot of time.
And of course, as you allude to, she will have the left-wing media the entire time trying to keep this honeymoon going for as long as possible so that they can run out the clock. But I want to play this one other video for you. I think it'd be a disservice to America if we didn't play this clip, where then Senator Kamala Harris absolutely loses it over saying Merry Christmas back in 2017 when the political battle on Capitol Hill was about the DREAM Act, which focused on giving citizenship to dreamers.
And when we all sing happy tunes and sing Merry Christmas and wish each other Merry Christmas, these children are not going to have a Merry Christmas. How dare we speak Merry Christmas? How dare we? They will not have a Merry Christmas.
So there's miles of this video But so can you just run a campaign using the video, or do you have to smoke her out in real time now between now and the election?
Well, I don't think they're antithetical. I think the more that you run those videos, the more that you run ads, they'll start to see some traction in the polls, and that will force her to come out. And the more that she comes out, the more she will be revealed as incoherent, but more importantly, far left. And that was sort of what Joe Biden used to do as a senator. Remember, he would lose his temper in a pseudo-rage and say, "How dare you?" He even did it as president when he said, "Robert Hur, how dare you do this?" It's kind of a boilerplate pseudo-rage. It's supposed to make somebody look serious and committed. But again, it's artifice. And the left has put themselves into a very precarious position because they thought they solved the problem with Joe Biden's cognitive decline, but they just rushed to, in relief, to put this candidate out that in most sober and reflective times they had agreed on can't be out in front of the public because she's her own worst enemy. And that doesn't change. It's just a matter of time and how much time that the Republicans have to do the right thing and concentrate on her record and her far left sympathies and agendas. If they don't do that and they get tied down on personalities and everything, she's gonna win.
Victor, if you go through the list of left-wing policy ideas that she has regurgitated just in recent years, you'd be hard-pressed to, well, you won't, but I'm hard-pressed to come up with someone who ran this country who was that far left, who was this much of a socialist, who would basically, I call it, her policy agenda is scorched America.
Yeah, and that's why they were so terrified when a rating service showed that she had a much harder left voting record in the Senate than did admitted socialist Bernie Sanders. And this is a pattern. When George McGovern in '72, when Dukakis in '88, and re-election of Carter in 1980, that effort, they had all gone very hard left, and they scrambled in that last 90 days to 4 months. They scrambled to reinvent themselves as moderates because their record terrified the American people. And each one of those cases, whether it was Nixon or George H.W. Bush or Ronald Reagan, they redefined them in time, and they won handedly. And Trump can do it, but they have to focus on her record and what she would mean if she were elected. We don't elect in America people in the Bay Area, lifelong Bay Area politicians, because we don't want them to do the United States what they did to California.
Right.
Exactly.
It's called burning down the middle class. Victor Davis Hanson, thank you so much,
Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.
Thank you.